Ladies and gentlemen, you see the title. You want to know what time it is. It's opening day in the MLB. As always, it's Austin joined by Logan. We got to recap how we started the MLB season, Logan. It's good to see you. We started off 2-0. We had the Dodgers Cubs first 5 under in the first game, and then we had Roki Sasaki under and outs. Both two relatively easy winners, 2-0, Logan. Hopefully, let's just say we don't miss a pick all season long. You in? I certainly, hopefully we can do that. Probably not going to happen, but either way, in this video, Logan, the people should know NRFI Nation is back. We have a NRFI stream planned later today. It's a good amped up, man. MLB is back, but first and foremost, how are you doing before we dive into things?
I mean, this is like Christmas morning to me. You and I have always talked about it. The excitement for opening day is definitely it's one of the bigger things that I feel in the sports calendar. Now, ask me in July how I'm feeling. I'm probably feeling burned down on baseball, but right now we're excited. We have a great start to the season already. You and I are on a revenge tour this year. That's what I'm calling it, because last year we had a very mediocre season to our standards. We're going to win some money this season, though.
Yeah, 100% couldn't agree more. If you missed our futures videos, we can recap them right now. We had a future of the division leaders. What was that? Cubs, Rangers, Phillies, all the way in the division for like a quarter unit. We had Jake Burgers under in home runs. We had Luis Heels under in strikeouts, who's injured, so you probably can't bet that one right now. And then what was our third play? Reds team total over wins. So those are our three futures that we locked in the bigger plays. Hopefully those can smack. If you want to learn our full research and stuff, go watch that video, which we'll link at the end of this one. But Logan, I'm going to let you lead things off with our first game pick of the regular season, the opening day. You're rolling with the money line team. Who you rolling with?
Yeah, it's not only a money line, it's an underdog money line. I'm taking the New York Mets plus 116 odds on FanDuel is currently your best value for this underdog money line. I think the Mets get the opening day win, on the road. This is a Mets team that I think there's definitely going to be some value on early in the season. This team is kind of interesting priced. I like this matchup today against Framber Valdez, who starts for the Astros. Last season, 2.91 ERA, 1.11 WHIP. Again, for any of you new to betting baseball, I could talk about a lot of the stats and everything, because baseball is a very stat-driven sport. WHIP is something I will reference a lot. It stands for walks and hits per inning pitch. It's a ratio. The closer that number is to 1 or below, that's a pretty solid WHIP for a starting pitcher. I think if we look at Framber Valdez, he's definitely one of those pitchers that I think the Mets can get to. In spring training, 5 games, 3.45 ERA and a 1.4 WHIP. That WHIP flirting near the 1.5 range, that shows a little bit of signs of definitely the Mets can get to him. If we look at Framber Valdez, several of these Mets have good starts or good splits against him. Alonso, 3 for 8. Soto, 2 for 5 with 2 walks. Vientos, 2 for 3. Lindor, not great splits versus him, 1 for 8, but he still has 2 walks drawn in there. I bring up that WHIP ratio because those walks can definitely add to that. And I think Framber Valdez, being in the first start of the year, these Mets can work some long counts against him, get him out of the game early. Adding a lefty bat like Juan Soto into this Mets lineup definitely is going to pay dividends for the guys behind him. We saw that effect with the New York Yankees last year. Now he's across in Queens. Alonso and Vientos being behind him, even Nimmo. Those are guys that will benefit from a guy like Juan Soto that will work counts, that will get on base. Soto last season hit 278 against lefties. The lefty-lefty matchup doesn't really matter to me. I still think the Mets offense is prime for this one. And then who's starting for the Mets today? Because in baseball, you got to analyze both sides, right? Clay Holmes starts for the Mets. Last season, he had a 3.14 ERA and a 1.3 WHIP for the Yankees. He's a reliever turned starter now. Starting pitching depth is a problem for this Mets team. I'm not saying I'm going to back them every game of this season, because until they get healthier, I don't think that's a great idea. But in matchup to matchup, I like what Clay Holmes adds to this Mets rotation. Holmes was great in spring training. I mean, he was ridiculously good. 0.93 ERA, 0.78 WHIP in 5 games. He definitely drew some eyeballs for how well he pitched in spring training. He also worked on this new pitch called the kick change. And I whatever you want to say, I love pitchers that are able to get in the lab and work on a new pitch that these hitters are not familiar with. If I'm a hitter up in the batting box, I'm wondering, when's he going to throw that, right? And that's definitely something I can see Clay Holmes adding pitches like that to his arsenal. Now that he's a starter, He's going to provide these Astros hitters with some looks that they don't like. Looking at this Astros roster, the losses of veteran bats like Kyle Tucker and Bregman, that's going to be a substantial difference. I don't care what you want to say. Those are guys that were key pieces to this Astros lineup, and now they're not there. The projected lineup, instead, the top of the order's got guys like Altuve, Isaac Paredes, Yordan Alvarez, and obviously they got Walker from Arizona. But still, I think that's going to take time for them to gel. In the bottom of the lineup, I don't know exactly what this lineup's going to look like. Guys like Cam Smith have been floated down there, Mauricio Dubon, Jake Myers. I mean, these are just not guys that I really fear all that much. And then we go to the bullpens, because in baseball, the starting pitchers do not pitch the whole game. The Astros bullpen still has guys like Abreu and Hader, but we saw both those relievers not exactly have their best stuff in 2024. Hader was anything but shut down as a relief or as a closer. And then this Mets bullpen, they added AJ Minter, Edwin Diaz, and the Trumpets. They should be back in that closer role for the Mets. I still think this Mets team is in a great position to win this specific opening day game. I love the Mets here, and we're rolling with them on the money line. Austin, what you rolling with though?
Yeah, I got a player prop to get things kicked off. We cashed our first one of the season with Roki Sasaki. Hopefully we can do it once again. And I'm rocking his jersey. Rare that I have a jersey of a guy that I'm backing, but I'm actually taking an under. You're going to see me try to target more unders, especially early on in the season. We know guys are still trying to figure their way back. I'll talk about a couple hit runs and RBIs, guys I like when I'm done with this one, but I'll stick with this under as my favorite prop of the day. It's Rafael Devers, under 0.5 runs, which was minus 133 on Caesars. We posted it yesterday out to the DubClub. Reminder, if you want to join the DubClub, you're going to get some exclusive picks. We'll hint at one of those at the end of the video, but it will be an exclusive NRFI today, so get amped up for that. And you get exclusive NBA, MLB picks, and all that stuff, plus some exclusive parlays. If you want to do that, there's a 2-week free trial somewhere down below. Go check it out. But let's talk about Rafael Devers. We need him to go under 0.5 runs. Now, Rafael Devers could get 4 doubles today for all I care. We just hope the Red Sox don't hit him around. He can get 5 RBIs. We don't care about that. It's all about Rafael Devers not crossing the home plate. Now, Devers has had kind of a tumultuous spring training. He has barely played. He's played roughly 5 games. He's batting about 214. And it's been big in the media where he's like, I want to play third base. And then they were like, dude, you aren't a good third baseman. We brought in Bregman for a reason. And so now it's been announced that he's the designated hitter. Now, he obviously wasn't too happy about that. And at the same time, coming a guy that's typically used to playing nonstop every single day, going in the field, going to bat and all that stuff. Now switching to DH, we could maybe see him maybe not be as locked in early on in the day, early on in these games, maybe just not be 100% himself, given he's not used to this normal rotation of what he's been doing since he arrived in the majors. And you look at Devers, he will face Nathan Eovaldi. He's 2 for 8 lifetime versus him with a single and a double. And we look at the other guys in front of him. Duran probably bats leadoff. He's struggled in spring training. So if Devers can come out up with maybe Duran struggling and not getting on base, probably not going to see as many competitive pitches. Sure, he can draw a walk, but I'm not too worried about that. If we can come up with some outs, I'll certainly take it. At the end of the day, we look at guys behind Rafael Devers. We're looking at Bregman, who they brought in. He is actually decent splits. First of all, the 10 for 29. At the same time, the guys behind Bregman, I'm not too scared of. And I'm not really seeing a lot out of a guy like Devers so far this season. And I think he maybe struggles coming out the gate. And scoring a run isn't the easiest thing. Now, he could hit a home run and make us look like idiots, and then we lose instantly, but I still will take a chance here at this at minus 133. A reminder, FanDuel, not our favorite book for betting in baseball. You will see Logan's, both of his picks are on FanDuel if you're taking like game picks, but they're not a great market or sports book for betting a lot of props. You'll notice they don't really offer any unders, and that's unless you're taking like unders and strikeouts, which Logan and I will dabble in the strikeout market, but not one of our favorite markets. So you're not getting any unders on bases or hits or runs or RBIs or HRRs. So definitely we recommend getting some other books, most notably probably DraftKings is where you'll see us a lot. But I really like Rafael Devers under and runs. Before I throw it to Logan for his second play of the day, I will note I have 3 guys I looked at for their overs and hits, runs, and RBIs. So if you're like, Austin, ain't taking an under. The 3 guys I looked at, Ellie De La Cruz, Cody Bellinger, and Kyle Tucker. So I like those 3 guys. I think they could all go over their 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, all at playable value. I just didn't want to force a ton of overs on the first day of the year, but trust me, we'll have plenty of overs the rest of the season long. But Logan, I'm going to throw it to you for your second pick. Logan, what you rolling with, man? What you got?
You said overs, and of course I heard that. I actually do have an over, and this is a full game over. I'm taking the Giants and Reds over 7.5, minus 122 odds on FanDuel is currently your best value there. Now, if we're looking at this at the
You can keep going. Sorry, I messed up the graphics.
yeah, I know that. So the reason I really like this over. And no, it's not July in Cincinnati where the ball usually flies out of this ballpark. The totals in later parts of the summer will be higher for sure in Cincinnati. But I think we're getting a little bit of discounted rate. Obviously, first game of the season, the bats might not exactly be where they will be in July. But each of these two starting pitchers are vulnerable, and I think they do bring the bats today. Now let's talk about who's starting for the Reds today. It's Hunter Green. Last season, 2.75 ERA and a 1.02 WHIP. Great numbers statistically for Hunter Green, but he's looked really bad in spring training. 5.57 ERA, 1.38 WHIP in 6 games. Now, again, spring training doesn't always translate to how he's going to pitch on opening day. But again, there's a lot of worrisome signs in Hunter Green's game. Number one is his walks. I mean, if a guy like him can be very erratic, he throws hard, which is good in the strikeout department, but he does lead to a lot of walks. Last season, he's 31st percentile in walk percentage. I don't see things getting much better today versus a very patient Giants lineup. There's patient hitters in this lineup. They get Jung-Hoo Lee back, which is great. We loved backing him earlier last season before he got hurt. They also add some power with Willy Adames. I think there's a lot of hitters in this lineup that when Hunter Green either is erratic and makes them draw walks, that will be great. Or his mistake pitches normally lead to home runs. Look, when you throw as hard as Hunter Green does, you barrel up the pitches like that, they do go a long way. I don't care that it's not 90 degrees in Great American Ballpark today. Doesn't matter. Those result in home runs. So I think a pitcher like him is definitely liable to give up some hits and runs today. And then we're going to need some production from the Reds against Logan Webb, who starts for the Giants. Last season, 3.47 ERA, 1.23 WHIP for Logan Webb. He's looked great in spring training, 1.77 ERA and 0.74 WHIP. But again, we know Logan Webb is a great pitcher. His first 3 starts of last season is what I wanted to go look at. Was I looking at his strikeouts? No, that's not the type of pitcher Logan Webb is. He's a pitch to contact guy. What was he giving up hits? Absolutely. 5, 7, and 10 hits in those first 3 starts. The Reds can get hits up on him, right? It's going to be about those timely hits, though. When there's a guy in scoring position, can the Reds bring that guy home? Well, this Reds offense, I'm expecting big things from. There's a reason why Austin and I both agreed on taking their win total over. It's going to be a lot of the guys in this offense. Matt McClain, a guy we really like. He's back from injury. Gavin Lux, Jose Trevino. Those are guys they added. Again, some veteran depth there. Ellie and Steer. Ellie De La Cruz, a guy Austin mentioned already. These are guys that can provide consistent production in this Reds lineup. I'd argue their bottom of the lineup looks a lot better this season than it did last season. And I see hits and runs all throughout this lineup. There will be run opportunities as well when each of these starting pitchers leaves. Because Logan Webb is a guy that can pitch deep into the games, but we're not going to see the classic Logan Webb 7-inning type game. I'd be shocked, really, if they let him go that deep into this game. Both these bullpens have shown vulnerabilities. I think both these two teams do bring the bats today. So I really do like the over 7.5 between these two teams. I think it's a great bet to make. But Austin, you know what time it is.
Oh, it's time for the first Nerd Nation of the stream of the year. Bring out the flags. As we said at the top of the show, we have an exclusive Nerfy. That'll be in the DubClub if you want to sweat out another one with us. And like I said, Logan and I will be on stream later on for this one, which I believe first pitch is at 4:15. So it goes in line with our normal streams at 4 p.m. But Logan, we have to start the year waving the flags. We need a Nerfy winner. And boy, I think we have the right one cooked up for us because we're heading out to St. Louis, where we're going to be taking the Twins and Cardinals. No run first inning is our first one of the year, minus 130 on FanDuel. Now, we're starting the year with only a half unit play. Our other 3 picks we just talked about were all full unit. It's Nerfies. Yeah, it can be a little bit volatile. We'll see if we stick to half unit. We'll see if we go to a full unit. We don't know. Now, we would say, and there's going to be people, Austin, why don't you take the Marlins and Pirates Nerfy? Now, I would argue that's our favorite of the day, but it's minus 190. And you guys know Logan and I's rules. We really don't like taking minus 190 nowhere in first innings. I hope that one smacks for Nerfy Nation, but man, we can't get there. But let's talk with these two pitchers. I will start first with Sonny Gray. Now, I will admit, Sonny Gray has had a rough spring training. We only need 3 outs from him, and I certainly think he can come and get that done, and hopefully he can. If he can't, we might not back him for the rest of the year. But Gray last year, he was a NRFI machine, 15-1 on NRFIs at home. He was one of the best in the business. He has had a rough spring training. We know that, but I think he can come out there and do his job. He's likely, like we said, first day of the season, you never really know the exact lineups. Likely sees Wallner, Correa, Buxton, and Larnach. He's 2 for 3 against Wallner and Larnach, but Correa 2 for 18, Buxton 0 for 2. Hopefully he can come in and do his job. Minnesota also last year struggled on the road, 6th fewest first inning runs on the road. So Sonny Gray, lock in, man. We only need 3 outs, and you can implode in the second inning. We don't care about that one. First inning, 3 quick outs, up and down. But I'm going to throw it to Logan. He's going to talk about the other side of the equation. Logan, who's going to be pitching today for the Minnesota Twins? Who we rolling with?
Yeah, so it's another veteran pitcher, Sonny Gray, also a veteran. This is Pablo Lopez, who's starting for the Twins today. Last season, 12-5 on NRFIs on the road. Pretty solid record for a guy like Pablo Lopez. He's a guy that we target in the first inning. No real idea what the Cardinals lineup's going to look like. All we really have is projections. Guys, we're expecting Pablo Lopez to have to face Lars Nootbaar, Contreras, Donovan, Arenado. Obviously, Paul Goldschmidt, a veteran bat, he's not in this Cardinals lineup anymore. So I really think Pablo Lopez should be able to get us those last 3 outs we need. Obviously, playing in Busch Stadium, this is a pitcher-friendly park, which we do like to see. Batters, if you look at the splits versus Pablo Lopez, Nootbaar only 2 for 8, Contreras 1 for 7, Donovan 0 for 6. Arenado 6 for 18, but all those were singles. So we can afford a single or two. No hard hit extra base hits. And I think NRFI Nation, we're going to start the year off with a bang. I'm excited to sweat this out on stream with you, Austin. Let's go, NRFI Nation.
No better time than flying those flags. We appreciate you guys for tuning into our first edition of MLB Opening Day Best Bets. We'll be back tomorrow. Every single day, you can expect Logan and I hopefully delivering you guys winners all summer long. We're signing out. We'll see you guys later today, 4 p.m. Eastern time, to sweat out this NRFI, and we'll talk about the rest of the slate if you have some questions as well. It's Austin Logan. We're signing out. See you in the next one. Peace.